A closure in JavaScript is the enclosure of a function's functionality as well as all of the variables and functions it has access to from where it was defined. This here is the simplest possible example of a closure. The closure contains the functionality to return the string A and the definition of the function itself. This, however, is uninteresting and not very useful. To start to get interesting, we have to introduce the term lexical scoping. With regards to functions in JavaScript, lexical scoping means that functions are executed using the variable scope that was in effect when it was defined, not the variable scope in effect when it was called. This is the simplest possible example to explain what that definition just meant. When you call the function A has access to the scope from when it was defined, meaning it has access to the capital A variable and it is able to be printed out in the function. And if you try printing out capital A right after the call to A, you'll see it even further. You get a reference error because capital A is only defined within the function. This example is where everything comes together. Let's go through it line by line. This function paycheck sets a money variable equal to 0. It has an inner function payday that increments your money by $10 and then returns the new amount of money. Outside the inner function, in the outer function, ends by returning the inner function. The first thing this achieves is you can't give yourself a small loan of $1 million. If you try to do money plus equals $1 million, you'll get a reference error because money isn't defined in the global scope. Going further, let's define a const salary variable that equals calling the function paycheck. This effectively gives you access to the key topic of this video, a closure. Salary holds both the inner function payday as well as the variables and function that payday has access to in the surrounding scope. So if you're calling salary, you're calling payday, which has access to money, sees that it's 0, and then increments it by 10. If you call salary again, you're calling payday, which has access to money, sees that it's 10, and then increments it by 10 again. The last little wrinkle of this will be defining the second salary variable. Defining the second salary variable really illustrates the power of closures. A second salary variable gives you access to the payday function again and the surrounding scope. Why that's so big is salary 2 now has an entirely new reference to money, meaning it starts at 0 and is entirely separate from whatever you do to salary's copy of money. Like and subscribe to learn more.